Boys and girls. Okay, some are right off the bat. If you don't want to hear a story, best you go now, because here comes the story. I grew up with trucks. I did it most of my life. I drove until just a couple of years ago. And from a young boy, my dad had tipper trucks. And the thing was, back in those days, I'm talking middle 80s, late 70s to middle 80s, 85, 86, when I went off to varsity. This was what I grew up with. This is what I did every holiday. I used to be in the trucks. Used to drive my mother crazy. But okay, enough of that. As a young boy, you tend to look at things differently, especially when you're passionate about it. You look at different things in a truck. Now, this model was built for me by old Jörg here in Hendred. And I actually commissioned him to build me the truck. Now, more often than not, anybody can build a truck. But very few of them knows what to look for and knows what is different and knows exactly what our stuff looked like. And this, Jörg saying, he shares my passion. And back when these things came out, stupid little things, for me as a boy or as a young man by then, the cut, when the power liners came out, they had this slanted window, they had this fender, the grille went straight through, it was new lights, a new spoiler under the bumper, there was a lot of stuff that was new, it was wow. But Italy makes these things, so anybody can go and build a truck and boomy boom. However, the South African trucks had a lot of unique features. Like you can see, we stood higher on our wheels than the rest of them. Also, they were 2644. This was a 2644 power liner. So you can see the whole spring pack at the back there. And Jörg built those, custom built them. U-bolts, everything. Really, really nice. So, we had extra blades and wara. Our chassis were thicker, you can see there. You see the fins there for the subframe for the fifth wheel. That is so South African. The catwalks. We used to use braai grits, All right. Now, apart from that, to build a model like this, you need to know exactly what they looked like. Now, that was the hydraulic tank there for, the tipper. And look at the filter. I don't know how he did that. But that's the sort of stuff. And the spring there, I remember these little springs on the hydraulic pipes. Okay, these are all standing in the air now, but you can see the couplings there on top of the fifth wheel there. That's where they used to go in. And these will press in there. I pulled them out because I had the trailer off. Now, just as a side note, see these. Me and my dad, every December, when the builders closed, we used to hang new conveyor belt here. Stop stones from hitting the cab. Remember it like yesterday. Now, these things were powered. Look, you look at different things, A, and B, everything that you look at, because you're so young, creates a feeling. So you get a feeling about a certain truck, Every truck has got its own little place in your heart and whatever. Now, this was the ADE 442 Ti, the V8, the twin turbo. They were built in Atlantis down in Cape Town on a Merc base. Some of them on the MAN base, like the 407. But that's exactly what they look like. Look under the cab there. Those things always used to fold up like that, the heat. it's in there. This is such a special model. Look at the exhaust pipe, the crud on it, the collection of the two pipes, and then the pipe at the bottom here, the black mark on the diesel tank. Absolutely phenomenal. Now I have to tell you that this dude, Smallberger, if you had tipper trucks, I mean, these things worked day in and day out. You always had one of the cleanest fleets in the country. They got washed every day, and boom, end of the story. So yeah, this is how I remember Smallberger trucks. But anyway, okay, so that's a little bit of nitty-gritty on it. However, this thing is pulling a trailer that you will never find the model of. It's completely scratch built. Hendred Copelyn did a trailer, yeah, early 80s, that was absolutely, look at that, 17 cube. Look at this. This thing was absolutely out of a different world back in those days. Remember, we used to build Joburg. And Joburg is, you don't see it, but it's a hell of an uneven country. And I remember that this trailer, you can tip on an angle like that and be fine because of the way it worked. Now, let me show you it. Look, I've only got one hand now. But the Copelyn had a scissor type. You see that? Had a scissor type mechanism. So you had the two big hoists there in the middle, and the chassis, this beam in the front here, actually took all the strain. So you never had the problem of a hoist breaking and a trailer falling over if the load got stuck on it. These trailers were phenomenal. You know, the normal trailers had a chassis right through and a hoist in the front or in the, here somewhere, and it used to push this thing up and tip on top of the chassis. Whereas with a Copelyn, it tips into the wheels. All right, you see that? So it tips much lower than the others did. And I was laughing. These here, one was the handbrake, one was the tailgate at the back, the air to open it. It's little things like that. I mean, Jörg did a phenomenal job here. So this whole thing was custom built. And Jörg, I'm going to copy a couple of things, because I need to build a 15 cube for the 1928, which was the trailer just before this. There's slight differences on it. But I'm thinking of printing. I want another one like this for the 2628. I'm going to build the WD haul truck. So, yeah, there you have it. But I want to show you something else. Look, everybody can build a truck, but not everybody goes through this sort of rigmarole. Look at the brake boosters. Do you guys know how many times I adjusted those slack adjusters at the back? Look at the air hoses there, the T-piece up at the top there. It's always where it used to brake, was on that T-piece. Then it goes over there. There's the air tank there under my finger, goes up. There's the hydraulic pipes, runs up to the top. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at the fins at the bottom. That you could have left because, I mean, nobody looks there. Not this dude. He built it. Now, let me show you another little stupid thing. And you're actually going to laugh at me, I know, and that's also fine. What makes a model to me just next level? See this little thing here? The spare wheel used to sit here. All right, she's got one on the other side. See, it's round. You could have just put a flat thing in here and boom, be done with it. But it had that shape. Every bolt's there. You see here at the back where it pivots, there's the stoppers, everything's here. Now look, the spring blades, those are all individually put in there. That's exactly what they looked like. I mean, I looked at the suspension this afternoon and it was like, wow. So yes, absolutely phenomenal truck. That whole tank there, that's the hydraulic tank for the back. That's all scratch built. I mean, you can't buy that off the shelf. And they looked exactly like that. Had the little frames here where you could put the pipes when you run solo with a horse, so it doesn't moor into the prop shafts. You know, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because, wait, let me just get the light there. I know you're not going to see it, there's a glare. Wait, let me just put it to the back and get it out the way. But you see there on the bed, there's a blanket. Now the drivers always used to sleep in these trucks and they all had those woolen blankets. It's just one hell of a model. I mean, there you can see the overall pic. You know, it's not just the execution that's brutal. It's just the feel you get. It's difficult for me to explain this. You get modelers and you get modelers. Jörg didn't build a truck here. He built a nostalgic memory. There's a world of difference. A world of difference. I can imagine how he was looking for pictures, because it was all in the back of his head, but you can't really remember everything. And you know, the execution of this thing, the proportions are perfect. It was a very funny looking trailer, that, because of it being so long, you know. But yeah, that was exactly what they looked like. I'm going to put a load in it as well. And then I'll make 2 loads and not stick them down. And I'll do one when it tips. You know, it'll look like the load's going down. I mean, this is just next level. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how chuffed I am with this thing. So, yeah. Now, guys, I just thought I'd show you and tell you the story behind these trucks, for me, and why I love them so much. And then thanks to Jörg, absolutely magnificent. You know, I bought a lot of stuff from local guys. And not to be funny or anything, very few of them are at this sort of level. Mainly because the passion behind it. You can taste it. You can taste the passion in this thing. Jörg is also, he's like me, we look at the same things, we notice the same things as kids. So we know exactly what to do and not to do. And you can see it in the model. Yeah, it's like it's an extension of himself. No, really, I am so chuffed with this. Dudes, I'm going to go to bed. It's late. I hope you enjoyed the video. And we will see this on the layout. In my crusher that I'm going to build one day. It will be there. All right, dudes. See you later.